Chapter 4. The Theories. When the evidence refused to provide a clear answer, investigators were left with something almost as frustrating as having no clues at all. Possibilities. The first theory was nature. Perhaps a sudden storm had struck the ship without warning. A massive wave could have damaged the vessel, convincing the crew that it was about to sink. In the chaos, they may have rushed into a lifeboat, believing they were escaping certain death. But there was a problem. The ship was still afloat. If the crew had abandoned it because they believed it was sinking, why leave behind a vessel that eventually survived? Then came another possibility: a rogue wave. These enormous walls of water can appear with little warning and have the power to throw people from a deck in seconds. A single wave could potentially explain a sudden disappearance, but again, there was no definitive evidence, no wreckage, no confirmed eyewitness account, no final message. Then investigators considered human conflict. Could there have been a mutiny? Could the crew have turned against the captain? Or could pirates have forced everyone into another vessel? It was a frightening possibility, but the lack of obvious violence made it difficult to prove. The cargo was still there. The ship had not been systematically looted, and there were no clear signs of a battle. Another theory focused on something far less dramatic: a dangerous substance. Some ships carried chemicals, fuels, or other hazardous materials. Under the right conditions, fumes could become toxic or explosive. If the crew believed something aboard the vessel posed an immediate threat, they might have evacuated in a hurry. But without surviving witnesses, this explanation remained speculation. Then came the strangest theories. Over the years, stories grew around abandoned ships found at sea. Some blamed mysterious lights, others spoke of supernatural forces, sea monsters, or even curses. These stories were compelling. But there was one major problem: there was no reliable evidence supporting them, and that distinction matters. A mystery can inspire legends, but legends are not proof. The more investigators searched for a single explanation, the more complicated the story became. A storm could explain one clue, a lifeboat could explain another, human error could explain something else, but none of the theories explained everything, and perhaps that is why the mystery survived for so long, because the greatest mysteries are not the ones with no explanations, they are the ones with too many. Every theory seemed possible, yet none could be proven, and somewhere between the facts, the missing evidence, and the stories that grew around them, the truth remained hidden. But the investigation wasn't finished, because the real question was no longer simply, what happened to the crew? It was something much more unsettling. Why did they leave a perfectly intact ship behind? In the final chapter, we'll look at why this mystery continues to fascinate historians and whether modern technology could finally reveal what happened.